Let's get it. Guess who's back? Back again. The truth is back to usher in welcome everybody to Truth Talk 2021. It is the last day of the entire year. And what better way to go out than with a podcast about all the bullshit that has transpired in the last 5 weeks. 5 weeks. My whole entire life has changed. I'm not going to say for the better, but it certainly is taken a different trajectory. There's no doubt about it. So we'll start with the elephant in the room. Yes, it is true. Yes, it is very true. I was forced out of my own business. And for people that think that's not a reality, I'm here to tell you, very much a reality. Very possible for anyone. And from what I understand, because, I had to hire attorneys in reference to the legality side of things. From what I understand, this goes on behind the scenes every day. Every day corporations are having a hostile takeover of some sort. And there are many different ways to go about it. But in my case, it was simply a choice. You can either stay as the owner and the chief operating officer of this business and have all of the customers leave because they have all been contacted and they are all on the same page, or you can step aside, relinquish ownership to either some other individual or a conglomerate of individuals or whatever the case may be, and the customers will stay. And I have a duty to all of those employed to make the absolute best business decision possible at all times. So after countless hours of litigation behind closed doors, my lawyers, my team, came up with the best possible scenario, and that was for me to step aside and relinquish ownership and the chief operating duties to another individual, which I did. I had somebody already groomed because we were in negotiations to sell the company. And, I'm going to receive some kickbacks. In no way, shape, or form did I get dollar for dollar asking price. It was more like pennies on the dollar. It was very quick, very ugly. And, it certainly has changed my perspective on business. It certainly has changed my perspective on freedom. See, everyone walks around like they have these freedoms, and they believe they have these freedoms. You don't have shit. You have squat. Because at the end of the day, someone, somewhere, somehow can take away everything in the blink of an eye. We certainly 100% rattled the wrong cage. This Truth Talk movement, this Joe Truth movement, all of you truth seekers out there, we have all worked together to rattle the wrong cage. And I personally believe Ray Dunn is behind this on some way, shape, or form. Some level, And I don't think anyone gives Ray Dunn the proper respect. They are the leaders of this planet. There's no doubt about it. Pardon me. They are the leaders of this world. They run shit. And if you think for 1 second that they're not behind everything, if you think for 1 second that they're not putting in place the proper pieces to this puzzle, that once they put it together, this puzzle, we're talking about the collective, everything in its totality, once they put this together, they will own everything and everyone. Because chances are they already own you and you just don't know. And if they can't just own you outright, they will put you in a predicament to where you have to submit. You have no freaking choice but to submit. And that is what I did. I had to submit and relinquish ownership of my own business because they had put me in a predicament where money is valued over all things. Integrity means nothing in the business world. I'm telling you right now, it means absolutely, positively, 100% nothing in the business world. So if you think for 1 second that your integrity is something that, is valued in the business world, you're fucking crazy. Can I say that on here? I'm not sure. I'll bleep that out. But you're crazy. Because money is the root of all evil. Money is what matters. And in this case, money has trumped integrity tenfold. Tenfold. And it's a shame because I thought that I was doing something meaningful with my position in life. I thought I was giving people a window into something that they normally do not have, and that they would overall be better knowing that this stuff is going on. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong, because it cost me everything. Everything. Pennies on the dollar. Financially, I'm probably ruined at this point. Financially, this has shaken what I have built over the last 5 years. So much so that once the ashes fall and they stop falling and the rubble is there and I'm able to actually look at everything, I will probably be ruined. And that, I got to be honest. I don't care. I don't. Money cannot buy happiness. Actually, that's a lie. Actually, that's a lie. Money does buy happiness. You just got to know where to shop. Dan Pena said that. Money does buy happiness. But, overall, to me, what matters the most is integrity. And I stood my ground. I stood my ground and I said, hey, up yours, Ray Dunn. Hey, up yours, corporation. Hey, up yours, government. They're all together laying in the same bed. You think these people have your best interest at heart? I promise you they do not. This whole thing is a money grab. Think of the money that is being spent daily on the pandemic. Think of the money that is being spent daily on trying to remedy supply chain issues. Think of the money that is being spent daily by the consumer who's worried about all this stuff. Think about it. This isn't about global dominance. This isn't about anything but money. Because money buys happiness, money is power, and power will take over everything. They have the secret sauce, they have it figured out. And we're still here twiddling our thumbs trying to fight the good fight. It is time to take it to these people. It is time to hit them where it hurts. And that isn't in the pride department. That isn't in the integrity department. That is in the pocket, people. The pocket. You all have the power. You're the consumer. You have the power. The question is, are you going to use it? Or are you going to sit here and fight this fictitious fight, thinking you're doing something good? I thought I was doing something good. And again, boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. So I pledge here today on Truth Talk that I will fight the good fight. And I will take it to them where it hurts in the pocket. But I need your help. I can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. We need to grow this thing. We need to nurture this thing. We need this thing to rival that of InfoWars. And InfoWars started just like this. In a room somewhere in America. InfoWars started just like this. I need your help. We need to spread the word. Hey, go listen to this guy. He talks the truth about stuff. You know? Start putting effort and time and money into this thing. And let's go after these people, these corporations. Ray Dunn, let's go after them. Because if you sit by idly, I promise you one day they will come for you too. And you'll be given a choice. And like myself, you will do the same thing. You will make the best decision possible for those that you love, and it's always detrimental to you. I had to call my kids together and explain to them that what I had built and was continue building for their futures and their children's futures was taken away. On Christmas, I had to have that conversation. It sickens me. It angers me to no end that I was not smart enough to put it together before. That I thought that my business was the untouchable factor in all of this. That if they came after me, they would come after the individual. Never did I think for 1 second that they would do what they did, but they did. And they were successful. My legal team is a good legal team. They're paid very well because they produce and they perform. They did not want to tell me that this would be the end goal. I could tell by the amount of hours that was put into this that they were trying to find another way to appease everyone in the situation. And boy, on that fateful day, it was funny because I actually kick it with one of them outside of work and legality issues. We actually, we run in the same circle. We have barbecues at one another's house. We attend. Like we're friends. And I use that word. I emphasize that word because we are friends outside of the business world. And that was the individual that had to break it to me. And it was hard. And there were tears. Because none of us want to submit to this bullshit. None of us. But reality is reality no matter how you slice it. So he said, hey, what do you got cooking right now? I said, what do you mean? He said, I wanna go out and do a little shopping for Diane. That's his wife. And I'd like your insight. So I met him at Polaris, which is a mall here where I am. And, we didn't talk any business at first. And it was normal. And I like normality. I do. I'm fighting for normality. I'm fighting for normal, what we, the people, consider normal, our lives pre-pandemic. And he said, what are you going to do after your company? And I said, what do you mean? He said, have you given any thought to what you're going to do once there is no company? You were in the midst of selling it. What if it was gone today? What would you do? And of course, I've always had this lawn care business in my mind because, I like freedom, which is why I started my own company in the first place. I don't want to work for someone. I don't take orders well. And I can be very successful when left to my own devices. So I told him, and he said, what do you need to get that started? So we kind of went down a list, and he's like, I gotta tell you something. And I didn't want to do it here. But I feel like this conversation has awarded us the opportunity to talk about it. And he explained to me option A and option B. And I was furious, man. I was freaking furious. So we had concluded our shopping trip and we were walking to the vehicle. And he could tell I was pissed. And he's like, hey, Joe, it ain't that bad. I've watched you over these 5 years change. Some for the good, some for the bad. But you're wearing all this stress. Maybe this is an opportunity, a time to unload it and start new. And I didn't want to take this loss either because I'm taking this personal. I didn't want to take this loss either. But we're in this together. We'll figure it out together. And it took the ride home for me to simmer down and focus on that word, together. That's what stood out of that whole conversation, was that one word. And I pondered on it the entire ride home. The only way we will defeat this, the only way we will get normal back, is together. That's the genius of what they're doing, is they are dividing. They are taking away that together. And it's genius what they are doing. The more they segregate all these groups, all these individuals, all these families, all these friends, all these coworkers, the more segregation that they can inject into our daily lives, the better chances that they can pull the wool over everyone on the planet, people. 7 billion plus people. And that is the key component. And think about it. Every single issue that is going on today, all the distractions, all the things meant to steer you away from what this conversation here on this podcast is about, is meant to divide. COVID is meant to divide. Are you vaxxed or are you unvaxxed? Because if you're not what I am, then you're the enemy. Segregation. The weather. If you don't believe in global warming, then you're the enemy. Segregation. Crime. If you don't believe that these individuals have the right to go and pillage because COVID and because they feel oppressed, then you are the enemy. Segregation. Every issue that is going on today. Russia. If you don't believe that Russia is our biggest adversary and we are on the brink of war with them, then you are the enemy. You know who the biggest adversary is. We talk about Ray Dunn every single time we meet. Every time we do this, Ray Dunn is front and center. That's another distraction meant to divide. It's insane to think that people are so focused on the selfishness of their beliefs that they're ready and willing to let this go, to let the last beacon of freedom in the world go because of their selfish belief system. It's insane. Trust and believe if America goes, if it continues on this trajectory, there will be no freedom anywhere. Anywhere. And a lot of people outside of the United States know that. And they are so focused on what is going on here, and they are waiting for liberty to fall because they know that is the end of freedom on this planet in our lives. They know. Politics. Everyone keeps asking me, why won't you focus on politics? Why have you stepped away from the political arena and you don't speak anything from a political standpoint? Because politics is the biggest freaking device that they are using to segregate and pull and rip the very fabric of our belief system apart. Listen to this phrase. Please listen. All politicians, every single one of them, are in the pocket of Ray Dunn some way, somehow. Whether it's by proxy or directly, it doesn't matter. These people care about their constituents, their belief system, not yours. If you don't fall under that label of their constituents, they could give a shit less. It's insane. It's insane. where we've come and where we're going. It is insane. So, the only way that we can do this, and trust and believe, we've put 2 years into this, blood, sweat, and tears, and it has cost us everything. And I mean that. It truly has. The only way we can do this is together. You have to be active in this movement. You have to. Don't be a taker anymore. For a long time, a lot of people support the movement, but they just take. They take the information for themselves. They pass it along to their group of individuals, their circle, and they never give back. The only way we can do this is together. You have to be a giver and a taker. You have to. If you're just being a taker, we don't get any farther than right here, this point. So I'm asking you, if you're listening to this, look and see if you've given to the movement or if you've received from the movement. And if you can't justify that you've given and you've only received, then you know who you are. It is time to give. It is time to make all of this a reality. No matter what it is. No matter what it is. However you can contribute, do it. If you're fancy with the web design, or, if you can contribute to making this rival that of InfoWars, and I don't mean a rival, I mean size and reach and scope, then give. Give your skill set. Let's do this. Because we don't have much time. Time is running out for Old Glory. Time is running out for freedom. I'm telling you, folks, if you don't believe it, look at what has transpired in the last 5 weeks to Joe Truth. I would have never thought that I'd be standing here today without any of the assets that I had 5 weeks ago. I would have never thought that I would have been hornswoggled so much that I would step down from something that I built from scratch, one box truck that I rented, I leased from Penske, and 10,000 square foot of warehouse space that I subleased from someone. Everything that I built over 5 years is gone. Like, I no longer have any rights to it at all. It happened quick. It moved very swift. And it was over as quick as it started. They will come one day for you and yours. They will. It may not be in the same manner. Maybe you're not an entrepreneur. Maybe you just a 9-to-5 individual. There's nothing wrong with that. Say you own a couple assets. Say you own a home and a piece of land. They're going to come for that one day. It may not be next week. It may not be next month. It may not be in 2022. But soon, they will come for that. They'll give you a choice. because it's the illusion of choice that makes you feel like you're in control. I had a choice. I could either do A and go down with the sinking ship, or I could do B and just step away and let the ship keep floating. See, they gave me the illusion of choice. But either way, my connection with that was done. Either way. We got to give to this. We got to make this a reality. So here's what I want to do. I want to go city to city, state to state, and expose the hypocrisy. You all know where you're at, and you all know what's going on behind closed doors. Some of you are a part of it. Some of you are just privy to the information, whatever the case may be. And I want to expose it. And I want this channel to grow exponentially. As long as we keep it black and white and we don't put names on it, what can they ban? Because at some point, this is going to get to a size or a magnitude to where if you ban it for just the truth, it's going to cause problems. People are going to say, hey, why are you silencing the truth? Like, what are you afraid of? What do you have wrapped up in this that you just want to shut it down? And I feel like at 600,000 followers, we're right there. We're almost to that point. But as long as we keep it black and white, we don't inject political jargon or political beliefs into it. We don't make it seem as it's so conspiracy-ish. We just present the facts and let the people decide what's truly going on. It's going to be hard to silence that because facts are facts. And unless they change the game fundamentally, like Robinhood did with GameStop, then it's going to be hard to silence it. But if they do change the game fundamentally, like Robinhood did with GameStop, you're going to see it for what it is. And it will just echo through eternity as a bunch of muckery. I had like $70,000 worth of stock on Robinhood that I cashed out the day after the GameStop incident. And I did that, and I left a message because it said, why do you want to cash out and delete your account? And my message was because you changed the fundamentals on a whim. Because the people got wise to what the hedge funds have been doing for years, and they tried to apply it to them. And because those hedge funds people were losing a little bit of dough and taking it on the chin one damn time, you changed the game. So you lost my support and my business. That's the kind of stuff that we need to set up. Where if they change it or they silence it when it's just fact producing, it's just giving facts to the people, facts that check out on government websites and corporation websites, and facts that are out there, statistics, numbers, data, whatever's out there, and you do that, then everybody will step away from you because they know that you have a dirty stake in it. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to use that as a metaphor. I'm telling you, I know you can still hear it because I still feel it a little bit. It still chaps my ass that this has transpired. But I'm coming to terms with it, And I think that this is where I need to put my time and efforts right here. I think that we can grow this thing to be that of a InfoWars-ish type movement. I think we can do that. Because the bottom line is people are tired of being fed BS. People are tired of being fed the narrative. A spoonful of narrative. Take your narrative and shut up. That's what they've been doing to us, for so long. Take your narrative and call me in the morning. Take 2 spoonfuls of narrative and call me in the morning. That's what they've been doing. And for the most part, people just take the narrative. You see, this isn't directed at those listening today. This is directed at those listening tomorrow. Because those listening tomorrow are taking the narrative today. And at some point, something will trigger you to ask one simple question that will change your belief system forever. One word, one question, why? That is a powerful question. Why? It happened to me. It's happened to everybody listening to this right now, and it'll happen to you. One simple question, why? When the pandemic started and the economy got shut down, that was the opportunity for me to jump into this. Because I asked, why? Why, for the first time ever, are we shutting down the economy? A roaring economy at that. Why? And that set me on this road that brings me to today. Over 600,000 followers collectively. And of course, we've had accounts deleted and banned along the way. Mega viral. We had videos have 2, 3, 5, 10 million views. And it all started with one simple question. Why? So again, this is not for you listening today. This is for you listening tomorrow, next week, next month. Maybe you don't get on board so quick and you listen next year. This is for you. Because as soon as you ask that question, why? Why? That will change your belief system. You will break free of those chains. You will break free of that narrative. And you will start searching for that almighty truth yourself. And then you can contribute more to the movement, the truth-seeking movement, than ever before. Ever before. Now I got to do some updates as I sit here to this splash screen right here, because the TikTok is changing in 2 days when I can finally change the account name. See, one of the things to keep the business going was I had to delete all of my social media. And I did. I deleted extra accounts, side accounts, the whole nine, but this main account. But I changed the name. And I don't think it's wise to put Joe Truth back up. So we will do Truth 7 Serum. And that'll be the name of this movement, and that'll be the name of everything as we move forward. Because I got to protect my family. I got to protect those people that work at that company. I got to protect everything that they are going after. And there's still the potential of lawsuits. I know that. The legal team is ready. But really, what more can you take? What more can you take? So I definitely need to update this. The Discord is gone. It is no longer somewhere where I spend my time. And the Instagram has changed. So on the next podcast, I will have a new screen for you. A new screen. Now, the Cash App's still the same. The Venmo's still the same. The PayPal's still the same. But everything else has changed. So I will update that for you. And I will also update on TikTok the links to not only the YouTube, which I think I put in the video, but the podcast, because this is going to be simulcast on YouTube and Buzzsprout going forward. We're going to utilize both platforms because some people simply can't find or navigate Buzzsprout, and that's fine. I understand. But mark my words, one day this will be on the big platforms. One day you will go to Spotify and you will look up Joe Truth or Truth Serum or whatever, and you will find that podcast, because we're not going to stop. We're simply not going to stop because they cast some shade this way. We're just going to maneuver a little differently going forward. Some of the things that I believe we should look into right now, and some of the things that you can help with, because again, it's all about together. The weather. This is so abnormally strange. This is not a normal winter. And I'm not sure what the end game is here with this warm, very tropical-like winter. It is 70 degrees again today. It's almost January. We haven't seen any snow. We haven't seen any cold. I got a closet full of hoodies, and I got a snow machine, and I got a snowmobile. Because when winter comes, it gets cold and snowy here. Not this winter. I believe there's something here. I believe we need to get some scientists and ecologists on board so that they can tell us what is truly going on. Is it global warming? Is it a pattern? Or is it something that is being manipulated for a purpose? I believe that it could be all three. I believe that this could be the beginning of a cycle that changes the seasons, that changes the environment for everyone. We have so many people on this planet now that if we had something on an ecological scale that changed the fundamentals, we would all suffer. We truly would. People don't understand how fragile these components are in your life. And supply chain should have shown you, should have given you a glimpse, because that's one facet in your life that you never thought about because it was always there. It was always moving. You never had to worry about shortages or not being able to find something, period. until now, until we had all these things going on at once that put so much strain on it. Workers just not working. People are not in the workforce. That's kind of one of the biggest reasons. Now, the conspiracy theorists don't want to hear that, but it is. Anyway, sorry, I digress. This should have shown you how fragile our daily lives are. That if you take one component out of it, the whole system suffers. And that's where we are. Supply chain is in ruins right now, even though the almighty President of the United States claims he has fixed it, and you had your Christmas. Darker days are coming for supply chain, I'm telling you. Believe it or not, the fundamentals haven't changed. They were able to facilitate Christmas, and that's it. But the one thing you should have taken from it is the fragile nature of human life. One component changes and everything suffers. Everything. Give your truckers and your dock workers and your warehouse workers respect. Give them respect. They bust their butts all day long and all night long to make sure that you have your stuff in this fragile, fragile world that we've created because we've gotten complacent. Give them respect. But take this one instance, and apply it to every single facet of your life, because everything is equally, if not more, fragile. And it is true. Everything is equally, if not more, fragile. And the environment needs to be one of the biggest things that we look into right now. Because if you think that the environment, nature isn't fragile, oh boy. And if you think that if it changes, the fundamentals change, it won't affect every single person on this planet, oh boy. I think it needs to be one of the most important things that we dive into in this new year. Because what's transpiring now is not normal. It is not okay. It has lasted too long to be a coincidence at this point. For the last 7 days, it has rained nonstop. It has been 60 to 70 degrees and rained nonstop. It is the last week of December. That is not normal. I have lived here a majority of my life, and I have never seen this. Never. I got people in the Carolinas that are like, man, it's 76 degrees today. I've never in my life seen it like this. I got people in Florida. My God, it is 85 degrees today. I've never in my life seen it like this in December. Do you see what I'm saying? This needs to be a focal point. Also, one of the biggest things we need to focus on is the distractions. There's so many. Crime is outrageous right now, and they are justifying it because of the pandemic. They are drawing correlations from the pandemic to crime and saying, not directly, but in a roundabout way, that it is okay for these people to feel the way they feel and to be doing the things they do because the world is amok right now. Think about that. They are justifying these crime sprees because the world is amok right now. So since I lost my business, you're telling me I can go out and rob a bunch of banks and there's no repercussions? Because my world is amok right now. I don't think it's going to work that way for me. I think I would wind up in prison if I did that. But these people are robbing Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Burberry and Neiman Marcus and Home Depot. And it's okay. These distractions, we need to grab them, pull them apart, get to the fundamentals, expose it, and move on. Another big issue, another hot topic is Russia. Because Donald Trump is not in office anymore, people. The negotiator is no longer there. You have seasoned politicians who are at the helm of this, and they know the value of a conflict. Wasn't it Nancy Pelosi that said you never let a good crisis go to waste? All these politicians, Republican and Democrat, both know the value of a conflict, and they are going to use this to their advantage. They're going to use it to their advantage. You do not switch presidents in a wartime situation. You remember that. That is a huge no-no. And conflicts take several months, if not years, to materialize. It's quite odd that 2 years, we're coming up on 2 years. What the midterms are this year, I believe. We're like at that middle point. Because they are coming, because elections are coming, this conflict will materialize. We will have a conflict. I'm not going to use the W word, but we will have a major conflict because it solidifies the political seat for those there today. We need to dive into that. We need to expose that so people are informed. The only thing that matters from this movement is that people get informed. If you're informed, you're empowered. I just heard Betty White died. That right there. I'm going to ask for 30 seconds of silence starting now for Betty White. And that was 30 seconds for Betty White. That's an American icon right there. God bless your family, Betty, and may you find yourself in a better place. Unreal. The news just keeps coming, right? So look for the podcast. Look for the TikToks. Look for the TikTok lives. You can find the podcast here on YouTube or here on Buzzsprout, wherever you're listening. Please, folks, it's time to come together for the greater good. If we do not, I promise you, you will feel the pain of losing it all. That's what's at stake. That's what's at stake. And I'm going to say it again, and I said it yesterday, but I do this and I've done this for God, for country, and for family. And when I say family, I don't mean just my immediate family. I also mean my social media family, my neighborhood, my community, strangers. I do it for all of you. And it's been well worth any of the negative, hoping and praying that I touch you with the positive. Keep your head up, everyone, as we go into this new year. It will be a year of freedom. It will be a year of the truth. And it will be a year of justice, because we're not going to stop. We're not going to go silently into the night with our heads down, dragging our tail. No, no, no. We will stand and we will fight for truth, justice, and the American way. And I hate to be cliche, but that's what matters. Truth, justice, and the American way. The American way rings throughout the entire planet. Freedom should be for everyone, everywhere. Freedom is deserved. It is owed to you. It is your fundamental right. Until next time, I'm Joe Truth. This is Truth Serum, Truth Talk 2.0, whatever you want to call it. You find the truth here. All truth, all the time.